McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plus Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Wednesday afternoon to you, everyone. Today is the 19th of June, 2024, and this is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. It's a beautiful day, looking in all its aspects and so on, and let's hope that in the human aspect, our interaction, our business, our safety and all that is as sunny and bright as the day is, and that the warmth that makes us a bit uncomfortable sometimes will reflect the warmth in our hearts towards one another, our warmth as human beings, and the warmth of our determination to keep our society well connected and well governed and managed, well peopled, if I can say that. Above all things, sometimes we look for so many other criteria and so on, but what we need is to be well peopled, to have a people who are committed to the space which has been bestowed upon them and where they have been placed. I think you know what I mean by that. I've spoken about it so many times, there's no need for me to repeat it. But today is a very interesting day, isn't it? I mean, especially if you've been watching the national television network NTN and seen that press conference being hosted by the Director of Public Prosecution. However, we'll get to that in just a moment. Yesterday I did replay for you some comments as part of a news report by another media house pertaining to the reaction of some opposition figures led mostly or especially by Mr. Leonard Spider Montot, who I think is the communications director or PRO of the UWP at this time, and they seem to be a little unhappy with some of the lyrics contained in songs by Calypsonians this season, and not just any Calypsonians. We're talking about some of our veteran Calypsonians, revered Calypsonians, renowned Calypsonians, of the caliber, of the like, of the fame and success of Invader and Herb Black as well. And maybe, they have their little beef with. By the way, does anybody know that Lord Help Me and Spider are brothers? Not that it matters, I'm not making any, but I'm telling you, did you know that Lord Help Me and Spider are brothers? People can be closely related. I'm not talking about brothers in name where people call one of them my brother, but they're not really brothers, Lord Help Me and Spider are brothers. Yet when you listen to the lyrics, Lord Help Me in his songs and what Spider seems to have issue with, it's clear that they have divergent perspectives. One, an entertainer who's also someone who has been deep into the labor movement, labor relations, is a former labor commissioner and so on. That it doesn't mean because someone is even of your same party that you have to have the same perspective of them on any kind of matter, social commentary, political issues, that sort of thing. And if there is a young lady who went into a Calypso tent to sing a pro-Alan Shasley song, and she was heckled and she was booed, isn't that part what you would consider a rite of passage for Calypsonians? That sometimes you go in there and everybody rises up to embrace and to welcome and to cheer you, and another time you may get heckled, you may get booed, even right off stage and so on. That's a rite of passage. That's things that many entertainers have had to go through. Do we know this black American comedian and so on, an actor, what's his name, Kevin Hart and so on? I mean, in the guy's development and coming, there were many times he was booed off stage. He persisted. Look at Kevin Hart now. Success not just in stand-up comedy, but in acting and so on, alongside other big names and so on that he's been, and we like to see him and so on. That's just one example. It happens to so many people. So it's par for the course. It's the rite of passage. What's the big deal about coming to comment about who? How do we know other people in the past have not been booed? There have been times Invader has not been, time for his performance, whatever it is at the time. They've heckled him. Although it's I suppose fewer times than he's been so welcomed and so on. An Invader, you given. I mentioned it the other day. Isn't that the same Invader who that song 1 year after the Labour Party came to office in landslide victory unlike anything we have seen before, the 16-1 victory. And the next year he was singing about it looks like they just come to take my money and how is a tax there, they're disguising us this, they play bus fare and fee relax, but then they raise departure tax and all these kind of things and so on. Did that make him anti-labor? Did that make him somebody that Labour Party ministers would go after? No politician who's ever done that has ever won. And I don't mean won electorally, but to get into a spat with a Calypsonian. I don't recall Labour Party people, taking on Morgie and wanting to, hit back at him for anything of that kind. I don't recall them hitting back at Invader or anybody. I remember Neville Snack back in the day wanting to take on Lord Help Me about something, and at the end of the day it really did not help Neville Snack at all, who was existing on a knife edge, on a thread at the time after he had crossed the floor following his win in two general elections, the historic two general elections, in 1987 and so on. And he crossed the floor, he became the foreign affairs minister in the UWP, and he exhibited a certain degree of sensitivity to calypsos and that sort of thing. What happened to Neville Snack? Maybe he was always going to win, I kind of feel sorry. I was working at a newspaper at the time as editor or assistant editor, whatever it was, that I didn't have the sharpness of wit at the time when he lost the elections of 1992. Easily brushed aside by Velon John. He never contested elections again, and it's doubtful he would have ever won an election again. I'm sorry I didn't at the time think of it as a headline to say Shadell mauled in Labrie, because the result was that he was mauled. So all he was mauled in Labrie after that, and he never recovered politically from the mauling. There was an attempt to reinvent and reintroduce him as Governor General, which many people saw as something farcical, and they even saw it as an act of disdain and contempt for the people who didn't think he deserved it. I'm just saying, I don't recall any politician coming off on top when they decide to get upset with Calypsonians and so on. But anyway, Spider said what he said, and it looks like it has inspired Her Black to come back with a response that may well end up being a new verse added to the song. Whether Her Black will be content to just leave it as, his little a cappella bit that he's just put back, or whether it's going to become, sewn into the song and make it re-released and so on. And tell me when you hear that, is Spider or anybody else going to come off, the better for it? But that's their business. I'm not crying for them. I just think we should play Her Black's response.
Spider. Yeah, man, this one is for the Spider. Yeah, he tackled me first. I responding right now. The spider could spin all his web. It's true, it's true. When the fields are going to a feb, it's true, it's true. Même si complot faut passer zeb, it's true, it's true. Moi pas ça puis passe moi liste comme meb, it's true, it's true. Oui, at a town hall meeting, he was expatiating and you should hear the things he say, but me and the papa, how we stand for labor and not for the Malay way, all of them applauded when the young lady said St. Lucia belongs to Chasney. Now they say they're declaring war. De Banzagui and Koyoye. Sing with me now, pot calling kettle black. The people will decide if they want them back. They want a leader to stand up and talk, not a leader to get up and walk. Let me hear you, pot calling kettle black. The people will decide if they want them back. They want a leader to stand up and talk, not a leader to get up and walk. Potok, potok, potok. Yeah, man, Spider. Enjoy yourself.
You really think Spider is enjoying that? You really think Spider is telling himself, I was justified, I made a right move in calling out her black on the platform? If that thing gets integrated into that Calypso, you think it will make it less popular or more popular? In fact, people will be expecting that her black will make it. All what's going on there, taking on Invader about he won $50,000, from Chasney and all. If Invader go and amend that Calypso with what we know Invader can do, will that Calypso make your look or feel any better in the end? That's why I tell you, I just find simple, practical, political wisdom seems to have departed, if ever it was there, from the United Workers' Party. It just seems to have departed from them. I kind of tell myself, simple little political calculations and so on. It just seems to have left the UWP, and it has left the UWP at a time when the UWP is led by a man who has maybe convinced them that he has everything they need. He has all the wit, he has all the sharpness, he has all the, the wisdom and the perspicacity and the political shrewdness and cunning. A guy who believes he's the sharpest knife in the drawer and he's smarter than everybody else. And maybe they are trying to carry on this aspect of him and make it, like their own a collective organizational point of view, that they have this kind of acumen and so on, and I'm saying nothing could be worse than that. We're talking about Alan Chasney. Did he get too clever for himself yesterday, with this WTF thing? Don't you know on social media, in your little WhatsApp chat with somebody, they put WTF? Don't you know it's what the F they're talking about? Now you want to go and say that it is you want to go and say that it is, where's the funds that you're talking about? And that's not even original, we're finding out. It's nothing new. Somebody in where Mr. Chasney says he's a product of, in the Parliament of Canada, I think, tried that stunt. And at the end of the day, the speaker, who is going to be the determinant of what is and what is not acceptable in terms of the the verbal parlance, the vernacular and what is employed, the speaker forbade it. So let's have first Chasney yesterday in the House with that WTF. I'm going to say, what the WTF? Where's the funds? All of that, So, and what was said in the Canadian Parliament, the man is not even original. He's importing something, and it makes you look more stupid. It makes you look more stupid when people hear that this thing was attempted in Canada, and where you said, more attempting to justify or to portray yourself as being a product of Canada. Enough said. Let's have first from Chasney.
At the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, it is about how you use scarce resources. And in particular, Mr. Speaker, when you want to come to the House and speak about the vulnerable, and you want to start crying about the plight of the people on the ground, but meanwhile, you are mismanaging scarce resources of this country, Mr. Speaker. Everywhere I turn around, Mr. Speaker, whether it's NLA, whether it's GPH, whether it's Banan's Land, whether it's CIP, wherever I turn around, Mr. Speaker, it has gotten to the point I have to ask the question, Mr. Speaker. I have to ask the question, Mr. Speaker. WTF, Mr. Speaker. Really? WTF, Mr. Speaker.
You know, anybody can do this little comical, pathetic, attempts to show that you're clever and you're witty. Let's just say I want to call somebody an MF, you know, and we know MF, what it normally means. It's mother something, you know, and let's say the person is a body. Let's say Jaquan, you know, is a bodybuilder and he's got this Rickwin in his prime type of body kind of thing. It's as if I'm going to come and say, you know, this MF, Jaquan, oh no, Shelton, no, this kind of, no, it's because of his bodybuilding. So I wanted to call him a muscle and fitness freak, you know. I can play this little game. You know, Jaquan, the muscle and fitness freak, when I know very well and everybody knows, when I call in an MF is a mother, you know, something, a mother effer or whatever that I'm trying to call him. At this big, you know, grown stage and in the parliament, you want to come and play this kind of little stunts. But like I said, it's not even original, you know. Let's play the what we got online that was supplied to us, forwarded to us about in the Parliament of Canada. Somebody tried that and where it ended up.
$250 million. WTF.
Here. We are dangerously close to crossing the line in terms of what is considered parliamentary language. I'm going to ask the honourable opposition leader, please, to withdraw that comment and to use parliamentary language, please.
Where's the funds?
I appreciate that the leader of the opposition had clarified that comment. I'm going to ask all members to not use the acronym, because the acronym in the minds of Canadians clearly would be considered unparliamentary language, and to use the full words.
Yeah, you know, you heard what the presiding officer says. Don't use that acronym. You know, I don't know if it's an acronym, because an acronym is supposed to be abbreviation that spells like a word that you can actually, you know, it sounds like a word. So you use the acronym ARC for Atlantic Rally for Cruisers. You know, so I don't really know if it's acronym is the correct, but whatever it is, the presiding officer says he's going to ask members not to use it. Because in the minds of people, it is something unparliamentary. It is offensive. You know, the overriding weight of significance, of interpretation that is ascribed, that is attributed to WTF in the public mind, in the public domain, through the pervasive, one might say, universal influence of social media, is not where's the funds. We know what it is. It's what the F, you know. That's what it is. You know, it's like me going to, like I say somebody, this man is relevant, MF, you know. You think is people going to believe me when I say is muscle and fitness freak that I want to call a person? They're going to believe me. This is the kind of little petty games that we see happening, and more of it is going to take place. Anyway, people, I want to open the phone lines early today, but I just wish, and for a time I was thinking to ask whether we could just relay NTN, but I wasn't sure how the press conference with DPP, Dasri and Green would have gone in terms of the length and the timing and so on. Try to watch as much of it as I do, toggling between it and the NBC, you know, lunchtime news and so on. I heard a lot of people expressing some disquiet about the DPP wanting to hold that press conference, the timing of it seeming to come on the heels of a call by the leader of the opposition for the DPP. But I say, people, until we are able to find something that is really rock solid of what we think of the DPP and his motivations, it's all speculative and so on. The same way we believe that it is curious that he's calling his press conference on the heels of Alan Chasney's call from the platform, Mr. DPP, time for you to speak up, time for you to say something. We might also say the DPP may have been planning his press conference from the time he was asked, you know, some questions about the pressure he might be under and so on, and is he finding himself under pressure, and his response, pressure. You know, the DPP reminded me of Jimmy Henry, you know, just before the 2016 elections, when they asked him about, you know, what was it? Some of the things, and he said, when he said things, what are you referring to? What do you mean by things? You know, and then seeming to be cut off about the question when they asked him. I can't even remember what it was. Something about things. He went on into, we will do this, and as we go on, we will lament further on our plans. You know, he probably meant we will expound or we will elaborate, and he couldn't get the word, you know, so he said we will lament. And you know what a joke that became. And I figured the DPP was caught in a lament moment, you know, a moment where the words were just not coming. He was caught off guard that anybody would believe that doing his job, the impacts thing and all of that had him under pressure. So it was pressure, you know, it sounded a little rather ungainly, rather, you know, awkward and clumsy moment for him and so on. It has happened to other people and so on. But let me just say this. As I followed the press conference, there seems to be an expectation or a belief that the Office of Director of Public Prosecution has some sort of investigative potential, that it's an investigative body, and it's not. The DPP's office is not an investigative. It does not replace the police CID. It does not replace, just the same way like the public prosecutor's office or the federal public prosecutor or special, you know. They can subpoena and ask for things and so on like any kind of prosecutor can. But the actual investigative work is done by investigative bodies. They can advise the police. I don't know if he can even direct, because the commissioner of police is the person who's to direct the operations of the police. It's not the DPP who can come and take over the police force from the commissioner and order that this be done and order that. The DPP can say, look, when I look at the file, if we are to go to court with this and we are going to have any chance, we would need to get some more information on this aspect. And so they will recommend further lines of inquiry, as he likes to say, you know, look into this matter. This will fail in court if we cannot get some kind of, you know, evidence of this or whatever. To my knowledge, this is how it operates. It's not a case where the DPP can direct the police to do this and to do that. Impacts and as we call it, I have spoken exhaustively that the Impacts Agency of CARICOM itself never did the investigation, as we believe. Impacts basically was the agency that sourced, you know, an investigative body, which was, how we call it, the JICO, the Jamaica whatever, I don't know, crime whatever organization and so on. I mentioned all of that on this program before, that they were the ones who did it. And the information that I got, which I don't think had ever been heard before, was that they gave two reports. A summary report or a synopsis of the investigations. So they gave that, which was the summary or synopsis file and so on. And there is a much more heavier, weightier, very serious one that contains a lot of what you'd consider, that is the impacts evidence file and so on, you know, that really contains the things that you would need to rely upon in presenting a case in court. For reasons that were explained to me off the record, that was never sent to St. Lucia. It was just too hot to handle. If they had sent that to St. Lucia and it had fallen into the wrong hands, especially the way there seemed to have been leaks and leaking and all of that going on for political reasons, that thing would have had some dread and dire consequences in our country. That's what I was told. But we have a call on the line, and I'll interrupt whatever I'm saying so that we can take a call at any time. Hi, good afternoon, caller. Real issues. Hello? Hello? Caller, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Sheldon, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I just want to...
Go ahead and try to speak up, because I'm hearing you like you're kind of far. No, that's too much. Yeah.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, don't give it too much. She needs to speak up. Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Better.
Okay. Thank you for sharing my story about my headlamp son last week. And since then, I was made to understand that it went viral. And while I want to applaud the public for standing with me and for sharing the video, there's something that is really upsetting me, and that is that be careful thing. Sheldon, I never mentioned anybody's name. I didn't see who took my headlamps. An injustice was done to me. And if I approach my story asking people to be on the lookout, And people are telling me, be careful. Be careful what? I am not in a gang. I did not go and steal anything. And injustice was done to me. I am without a vehicle. I am not 100% healthy. I have to find my way, all right? By feet or foot, by any means necessary to go to my doctor's appointment. So I am not the one who has to be careful for bringing my story out there and for appealing to the two guys who took my headlamps in that black Tudor to bring it back. Okay? For all that remains for evil to exist is that good people remain silent. I am not holding a secret for these two guys who came in the black Tudor and stole my headlamps. I am angry and I am appealing to these guys to bring my headlamps back with my battery. Thank you very much, Sheldon.
Before you go, can I ask you something, please? I just want to understand. Are you upset that people have been encouraging you to be careful? Yeah, you see, I believe people are encouraging her to be careful because they care. They are concerned. And they understand that criminals are criminals. They are just that. They're people who don't care about the law. They don't care about justice. They don't care about those things. They only care about their objectives, what they want to achieve. And so they come to steal what they need or what they know can sell or what they have for somebody, you know, or for themselves, whatever. And you have the vehicle that matches the model and the specifications. They don't care about you. And so when you say that an injustice has been done to you, we know that. The problem is, where will that injustice end? Where will it stop? When information is given that they came in a black so-and-so vehicle, a Tudor and so on, how many of them do we have around? When we are told that there are cameras, whatever, that saw them, you know, criminals are people who after the fact, they might return to the scene of the crime to clean up. They don't like to be held to account. They don't like to be brought to book. They don't like to be caught. They don't like to be prosecuted, especially successfully, and punished, sentenced, and brought to jail. I've always said there is nothing a criminal fears more than being caught. And if they believe, based upon what is said, that somebody might be able to identify the shape and that they look chubby in addition to the black Tudor, you know, that you might be able to tell the police that they look a little plump and that one look a little meg and this kind of thing, you never know what they can do. This is I think what the people who are saying be careful are saying about. They're not encouraging you to be cowardly. They're just telling you be careful with these evil people who don't care about anybody but themselves and what they want. You know, they might end up doing something just to silence you, just to prevent you from talking. So I think it is in that context. It may sound at times like people are trying to tell you things to be, to be coward and to shut up and so on. But my friend, the criminality, the level we have seen in St. Lucia, we just never know. So I too would say, give your information to the police, everything that you're able to say, but be careful what you let them know that you know, because they may or may not decide that there is something to clean up. You know, I don't think the people who tell you that they mean you wrong, or they mean you bad or something in that regard. But let's take our commercial break, and when we come back, the lines will be open for your calls, and I'll be reading some of your messages.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
So much everyone for tuning into and staying with the real issues on this Wednesday. It is the 19th of June 2024. Our telephone lines are open to take your calls, and like I said, if someone expresses concern for me, I remember many years ago while working at Radio St. Lucia, we had a correspondent and my very good friend Marius Modeste, who had an incident where somebody came in the neighborhood and was looking around and inquiring because they thought that somebody had snitched on them, had ratted on them to the police to tell the police that it was they who committed the crime. And the guy came and I think he looked at Marius Modeste and said, like, it's you who told the police. Marius Modeste said he doesn't know the guy. He's never seen the guy. He's never, how could he know anything about the guy? But the guy for some reason was convinced that Marius was the one who had, ratted on him or whatever the term is and so on, to the police, who was a snitch for the cops. And Marius Modeste is there talking to the guy, holding on to the curtain of his window, and the guy all of a sudden just fires at Marius Modeste, and I think he got some injuries to his hand. A long time ago this happened. And at the time what I said to myself, Marius Modeste repeatedly made the point, I just do not know the man. I do not know him. I will not recognize him. And I said, whether Marius Modeste is saying the truth or not, but I'm happy for him to say that he doesn't know the man. If he otherwise, tell the police, but if I see him, I won't recognize him again. That probably has protective value about it, because that guy can come back at you again. If he can just fire at you, just like, you're the person who told the police whatever. And before Marius could answer properly, the guy had fired at him already. Now, I'm sure that's something Marius Modeste would prefer to forget. But at the time, I remember thinking to myself, I'm happy for Marius, that he said, whether deliberately or whether it was absolutely true, that, look, man, I don't know the guy if I haven't said, because that to me removes an element of incentive for the guy to want to wipe him out so that he can't talk or anything again, because he said he won't. And it's just the way that sometimes in the society we have to be shrewd even when we are doing the right thing and so on. And my point is just that people may be concerned about us for our safety. If we think otherwise, it's all right to say we want to shout it from the rooftop and so on, and to do it. But oftentimes it is better to quietly work with law enforcement, to give information. And I'm big on sharing information with the police, but we have to do things in a manner that is shrewd, where we are innocent as doves, yet we are cautious as serpents, So, I'm just saying, the innocence of being a law-abiding person, sharing what information you have that can help to combat crime with law enforcement, but doing it in a manner that carries with it a certain degree of, as I said, being shrewd about it. Anyway, enough said on that. To each his own, everyone knows. Someone had sent me a message saying, I see Spider on the news taking on Calypsonians for their lyrics. When will these shallow, hollow men learn to leave Calypsonians alone? The individual has sent a follow-up message saying Herb Black dealing with the Spider-Man in terms of the lyrics that we have. Regarding, and by the way, let me say good afternoon to a friend of mine down south, that is the secretary in the constituency office of Honorable Moses Jean-Baptiste, and that's Miss Angie Kedu. Nice to know that you're always following. Always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so very much for your support. Someone said, if memory serves me right, the DPP announced his intention to hold that press conference before Shastney called him out at the meeting where he declared war. So the idea that some people have that the DPP is reacting to Shastney and giving him what he wants and so on, that does not seem to be borne out by what I am hearing coming out of the press conference thus far, and I'm sure many of you are tuned to it, doing your utmost in terms of that. So do you think, Jaquan, we can join to see if the press conference is still live, and maybe we can just switch back? If it is, we can just have a couple minutes of it, Yes. So folks, we're going to see if the DPP's press conference being hosted by NTN, the National Television Network, if it's still on.
And the lack of it. And they are concerned about violence. If you vote for the new National Party, you will enable me to continue with my task to bring conciliation, reconciliation, and thus peace and prosperity to our country and all its people. I look forward to cooperate.
Sorry about that, folks. We had it lined up, but it looks like wherever the link is. And thank you very much to someone who said it has ended. It ended an hour ago. So we don't have it on live anymore. Of course, it's impossible for me while hosting this program. So as I said, the lines are open for your calls. You can share your thoughts, your views if you have been watching the DPP's press conference. What are your thoughts? The DPP did earlier say, put out a notice indicating what the press conference would have been about. So, we know the subject matters that would have been dealt with, that would have been touched upon at that point. More cricket action, isn't it, this evening at the at the Beausejour Stadium. But we're getting a call now. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. The Real Issues, you're on.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and I'm happy to be alive. I guess you can see the same.
Were you in danger?
Sorry?
Were you in any danger recently?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just thanking God.
All right. That's a good thing to do.
Yes. Shelton, yesterday a bombshell was dropped in Parliament where Chasney revealed that the lands, the DSH lands that he
in Beaufort,
gave to Theo Aking.
Yeah.
That Theo Aking paid $60,000 an acre.
Yeah, and it was not 1,000 acres, it was 140 acres that was sold, etc., etc. Yeah.
Right. Shelton, my concern is, and we should not just accept this for that, for what he just said, because we all know Chasney is a stranger to the truth. And therefore,
where is the document trail? Where is the deed of sale?
The documentary evidence?
Yeah.
Where did that money gone? Chasney need to show where that money gone.
How was that transaction conducted? Because to me, people like Philip J. Pierre, Richard Frederick should very easily be able to find the paper trail, the documents, the deed of sale, the whatever, the title, the transfer of ownership, whatever it was. Yeah.
Because when he said that, Shelton, my mouth dropped. Right? For years, it has been said that you give it for $1, and all of a sudden, you just drop this bombshell, but there's no evidentiary evidence to prove that this is what happened. And who did the money go to? If not the Treasury.
Yes.
So there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Yes.
And I do hope that the special prosecutor will look into that. And it is my prayer, Shelton, that more will come out. Because he can't keep his mouth quiet. So a lot more. I'm happy he was able to say this so. Because now there are more questions that are left to be answered. Shelton, thank you. I hope it will not just be a one-time thing, as a lot of things are happening in St. Lucia, but there will be a swift investigation into this. Shelton, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, my friend. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. You know, let me just look at what the press invitation for the DPP's office said. And this caller is right. To me, I'm hearing for the first time where he's calling upon Richard Frederick to withdraw that there was never any 1,000 acres of land sold, that it was 140 acres that was sold to DSH and T.O. King at the price of $60,000 per acre, and the rest was whatever was said. If all that time Alan Chasney has been getting an absolute shellacking over this deal with DSH, how come he has not more forcefully, more stridently, more decisively come out and laid the truth? And if he can, to me, he should have access to the documents to lay it and say, look, here are the documents. How can Richard Frederick and Philip J. Pierre and all the others who have been absolutely pulverizing him with that thing, how did they get it wrong? Where is that agreement? Where was it hidden that they cannot find it, that they cannot see the deal in it, and so on? And for it to show exactly what has transpired. We seem to be hearing updates and mutations and all of that of the truth and so on coming. And you know, I don't know. This is just so perplexing. You know, so let us see about this 60,000 per acre. How come it is not known? Where was that money paid? Is it somewhere in some escrow? Is it somewhere in China or wherever it is and so on? I mean, we need to know what are the facts and the truth surrounding that particular transaction or series of transactions that they involve. Where do we stand with regard to those lands? You know, who really owns them? How much do they own? Under what terms did they acquire them? I mean, I don't know. I gotta say, if $60,000 per acre is what T.O. King was made to pay, that sounds like a good price to me. 60,000 US per acre of land. It does sound too bad. It does sound like a giveaway to me. So Alan Shasta may have been taking an absolute bludgeoning, over this thing and so on. And maybe somebody needs to apologize to him. I don't know, and to T.O. King and so on. But how come those things are not out in the open? This is not private transaction. This is state lands, we being sold to an investor and so on. We need to know about those things. Anyway, let me see if I can get the DPP's press invitation. And there is, the press invitation, which came out when? Let me see the date of it. You got to have those things right, but we're having another caller coming up right now. All right. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
How are you doing, my friend?
I can recall there was talk about a paper shredder.
Yeah.
You heard me?
Is it paper or cardboard shredder or whatever to shred cardboard boxes?
Paper shredder.
Okay, go ahead.
I heard that talk sometime before the last election. That was rampant in the area, in the place.
What about the paper shredder did you hear?
Well, was somewhere in government offices.
Okay, so the paper shredder, come on, tell us what it is that you want to tell us. Is it that the paper shredder was shredding up the...
I'm telling you that before the last election, I heard talk about a paper shredder at government department.
Yeah, but paper shredders are things that are so widespread and commonplace in big office departments and complexes and so on. What it is about the paper shredder that you heard? That's what I'm trying to find out.
If there's talk about land being sold and there's no trail.
All right, caller. Thank you. Thank you very much. You are determined to be cryptic in a manner that is not helpful to the call and so on. I mean, tell us, is it that you say in paper shredder may have shredded up the true agreement with T.O. King or somewhat it is? Tell us something. Just you heard about a paper shredder. Paper shredder is something that is just it's. How are we going to put that? Paper shredder. There's no novelty about it. It's all over the place. I thought maybe he was talking about the shredders that were purchased for in lieu of the removal of the landfill to shred cardboard and so on, and that they could not deliver anything. They were not working. They were breaking down at even the flimsiest cardboard or something like that. Paper shredder. We have them all over. Hi. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing? Tell me about the paper shredder. The other guy called about it.
Emmanuel people using paper shredders for the offices and they were shredding documents.
So
most likely the documentation where he sold the land for $60,000 per acre got shredded somewhere. You know what I'm talking about?
But why would anybody shred documents like that? When they leave a paper trail that might exonerate you that you didn't give away the land, you sold it for $60,000 an acre. I'm just wondering why would you deprive yourself of what I think in courts and law they call exculpatory evidence?
Well, Shelton, for the very reason that we are still trying to find the document that was on his desk.
To sign
after election that he had to sign.
Yeah, for the price of the gas to go down
for the people of this country. We still can't find that document.
And we still can't find the document proving that.
We still can't find the document because the gas prices never went down for the people of this country. They just continued to increase.
And I also noticed that the document to show that the previous government, then SLP, was making $6.80 on every gun.
They can't find that document, so it must have gone to the paper shredder. But Shelton.
Okay.
To me, I am a bit concerned, right? I took in most of the DPP's press conference. I am not a law student. I am not a lawyer. I'm not a paralegal. But I am still in a kerfuffle. I didn't understand the purpose for today's press conference. Shelton, I don't know if you took in anything of it, but did you?
A little smatterings here and there. Too much was happening at the same time that I couldn't really give it my undivided attention.
For me, what I saw was an attempt to paint this administration in a light where they're still being blamed for the 5 people who got killed when they were not in government. The Viewford 5, as they are called. They still want to find a way to blame this administration, which was not in government when the ORC orders were given. To me, I see the man who has been employed for the last 8 years shook off responsibility for not having done a lot of things he said that could have been done. To me, I see Mr. Green saying now they have no resources. Did he just come to that realization that he has no resources?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
And wait, but Shelton, I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead, my friend.
To me, the police claimed that they had no resources as well, or they were lacking certain resources, and Mr. Pierre made every effort to provide them with resources. So do you think it is quite possible that had Mr. Green taken the professional approach and said to the Prime Minister or whoever is responsible, who has direct oversight for his office, that they're lacking resources, that they would not have gotten it? And then I saw the exchange between him and Dale, which seemed co-opted. Almost like, Gasser, let me put out that thing before you end, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Dale wanted to know who was the minister at the time, at a particular time. He didn't want to know who was the minister under the last administration, mind you. But he wants to know who was the minister at the time of the Kenny Anthony-led administration. He does not want to know who was the minister at the time of the orders given for ORC, but he wants to know because they want to hang that. Y'all have taken Kenny Anthony out of government as a result of impacts, ORC, whatever you want to call it. So now you want to make Mr. Pierre pay.
And not just Mr. Pierre. There is a minister in the SLP administration who was formerly with the UWP administration. So now, given not just the change of government, but the change of alignments or allegiances, whatever you want to call it, there's a particular minister that some people want to go after.
Wait, Shelton. So you mean to tell me, who means Pudimwe, ministre like te kamade pou a, c'est pas, il diplomatically parlement non, il pas dit qui ça exactement il kagade pou a. Il te vle mande who was the prime minister at the time. That's the question he wanted to ask.
Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes we can only look at and say maybes, because remember, a question was asked of Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre about whether he's seen the impacts report, and he was absolutely blunt and he was instant and so on to say, that's not your business. What I've seen and what I haven't seen.
Right,
and whatever,
So. But I also grasped from the director of public prosecutions, I'm paraphrasing here, I may be wrong, that he was saying that he's looking at social media and there's a lot of comments, a lot of statements, and a lot of things being said on social media, and that people will have to be held responsible for, and rather. But I'm happy he said that if that's the direction he was heading. Because by that token, Alan Chasney, Peter Josie, a certain lawyer, and the others who have been calling for war, and all of those other actions shall be reeled in, especially the one who said that St. Lucians need to gather to block the roads to ICC cricket so that they can prove to the world that St. Lucians are not a papi show. They're not in a papi show state. But Shelton, for now, Alan Chasney better start finding our $60,000 by 1,000, okay, for us in Viewford to give us our money. For all the land that is sold, quote unquote, to Theo Aking.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. We continue taking your calls. We're not far away from another commercial break, but the lines are open. You can WhatsApp call us on 758, the area code, of course, 724-7325. That's the digits you most need to remember, 724-7325, as well as the landline 4533-911. A message comes in on the WhatsApp, on my WhatsApp, says, check that clip again. Shasney said that 130 acres were leased to T.O.R. King at US 99 cents per acre. He said the other 770 acres were sold at US $60,000 per acre. It means that there is US $46,200,000 unaccounted for as we speak. I tell you, sometimes this seems to get me confused, because if all of that is what happened, to me the document trail must be there, cannot disappear, should not disappear, should be accessible and available so that we can ascertain exactly what done. Land sales are not things that it's neither here nor there. These things have to be properly documented and registered and all of that. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Welcome, Daniel.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, moi voulais identify comme moi. Pour moun sa qui est parler là. C'est un bouga Frank.
Frank.
Oui.
Okay.
Il s'est un gros léba. Bon, tout le monde connaît bien un léba. Avec raison, moi dit ça. Yo sa ou la si au moins un léba. Ou même si vous savez au tête travail n'a fait léba. Pour appuyer au moins promote léba. Pourquoi si léba parti est position moi hier? Pourquoi si l'antique kabay? Magali dans position moyen.
Qui garde tigé quoi parler about? Jazz Hafini. Ministre Kenson Kazi metti dans le programme ça semaine passée. T'es ka SPT qui yo pani autant liberté et puis guantissement pour yo ka bay ticket.
Maman de question. Maman de pour expliquer rien. Moi aussi la ticket kabay. Est-ce ou pas quoi moi gagnant?
Ou pas vraiment SPT, c'est pour qui ça on ka mettre ou ka demander mes questions, just dis ça on est pour dire.
Non, moi blow répondre moi vinn pour.
OK, si gouvernement de ka garder pour supporter bagay comme ça, on homme qu'on était supposé toi petit ticket, right? C'est ça.
Ah, belle réponse.
All right.
So si un homme comme moi pas la ticket. Ça me pour dire la panique ou moi?
OK, moi d'accord avec ça.
Bon, ça yo ka faire. Yo pas voulu bay Philippe GPS la recognition y besoin. Économie bon.
Oui.
Moun ni l'argent. Yo ka acheter ticket yo.
Oui.
So c'est moun nati quoi c'est moun nati bon séjour là. C'est ticket free national. Non. Moun ka acheter ticket yo. And you know what causes that? The economy is doing well. People have extra resources.
Yes.
They have extra resources. That means pour the pays à courir bien. So, yo vle me dam par là ba dit c'est moun ti la c'est ticket pour un an. Si la dem pièce ticket ka bay. At least moi de henyon.
Mais et puis yo te dit même bay ça et puis jazz là comment yo dit yo moun pa venir jazz c'est ticket yo ka bay moun freeness.
2500 ticket ka bay.
Oui,
c'est 2500 ma henyon.
Oui.
Achetez moi acheter ça moi.
Actuellement moi bien.
Tout acheter ticket.
Oui, moi bien comprendre ça.
Moi bien sorti là bon matin, yo dit moi non, on va 11h30, 1h30.
Okay.
So because I'm sales, moi c'est 10 heures. So moi la 10 heures pour gagner l'autre ticket. Et yo dit moi non, c'est 1h30.
Okay.
So na do ça. Si la dem ticket ka bay, moi believe. Moi de henyon.
Okay.
Et si ma henyon, that means la pani.
Okay.
Tout le monde a gagné que yo économie en bon. La haka roule un pays.
Oui.
So c'est numbers là la haka roule. On aime cricket, très enjoy ko yo ka la highway.
Moi d'accord.
All right.
Okay. Pas pour question. And with that, we go into our next commercial break. If we don't have anyone already on the line, let's take the commercial break. When we come back, we'll entertain more calls and try to read some messages as well.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
19th, 2024, the real issues is on until 2 o'clock, and we have a caller on the line already. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Bonjour, Monsieur Shelton Daniel.
Hello, bon après-midi pour. Oui, je t'entends bien clair.
Eh bien, bon. Eh bien, ça me veut dire aujourd'hui. Moi, on bagaille passé aujourd'hui au press conference. Moi, tant de pipi ka complain, moun ka di bagaille à l'œil, yo ka kouye no bagaille. Mais di pipi ka bay lot moun on way pour faire même bagaille là. Puisque di pipi te ni deli di ota di da office li di te la so yo ka fe o bagay akodi se o bagay ki we mais c'est un setup ki la
Comment nous dit office DPP hier après moi pas bien ça. Oh OK.
Il y a office DPP ka fait il ka fait yo ka planifier bagay yo. Et quand arrive la jodi a ka garder en condition bagay yo ka papier yo pa c'est un setup ki la. Puisque yo vle sali non moun nek yo sa yo pa ni pied pour tout bout en lay mais yo sa depuis yo l'homme non bagay kay di kon ha imali chance là pour just di bagay là mais is how ça c'est on setup ki la. Est-ce que non?
OK.
Ben mon radi yon bagay si il ka vle protéger non il qui ka quitter l'autre sali non l'autre sali ya kay plus sale. Merci.
All right, merci un peu. Okay, not exactly sure what she was referring to when she said two idiots, I think, were in the DPP's office. The setup, is it that there was a setup in terms of the questions that were posed and the questions that were taken and how they were answered and so on? But I suppose those who were able to watch the press conference at greater length and more continuously than I was able to would have formed their opinions. Let me just tell you that I got a couple of messages. I'm not sure if the person who sent them, if they originated with them, because I'm saying forwarded. Yeah, so they're forwarded messages which say, constitutionally, the DPP only has the power to indict or decline to do so. I don't know that he is empowered to deliver public comment on the state of police investigations. That is beyond his remit and best left for the commissioner of the police or the commissioner or the police PR office. He is speaking out of turn because it is up to the police to decide to charge a person or not. Sorry, I'm reading that wrong. He is speaking out of turn because it is up to the police to decide to charge a person or not based on the evidence available to them. Did the DPP violate that? I don't know if the message is intended to imply that he violated this about what he's supposed to speak on and speaking out of turn. But there's a second message, a follow-up message which says, and so he would only undermine the commissioner if he seeks to express an opinion on why the commissioner may not have done so. It can only serve to undermine public confidence in the police. All right? Interesting stuff. I have to say a little of it is a bit beyond my ken. I am not too... I read, I get little bits and pieces in terms of knowledge and understanding, but law is something that is very involved, very complex and convoluted and so on. Let me see if I can get... someone says she was referring to Dale Elliott. So was that when she said "day idiot" that she was referring to Dale Elliott? Wow, quite a play on words, I have to say. Woo! I wouldn't have thought about that. All right, let's see if I can get some more comments on the WhatsApp. Someone else sent me a message. Shelton, I am still in shock after what I heard from the opposition leader yesterday about the land was sold for 6,000, they say 6,000, but it's actually 60,000 US dollars. And this is the very first time any St. Lucian has ever heard this in the House. So I hope that the government takes this very serious and find out where is that money. All right. Okay. So, all right. Another person puts on the Real Issues WhatsApp chat. I didn't even realize they had responded to my little illustration or analogy about MF. One person says, this version of the UWP is a sad reflection of its leader. Seems like his supporters are all MFs, mostly fools, the person says this time. So, my little muscle and fitness freak thing was a little far out. The person has brought it down to what I think is more relatable in an immediate context. MFs, mostly fools. Another person writes, Shelton, what the caller said, Dale Elliott was in the DPP office yesterday ahead of the press conference. Okay, he could have been there for any number of reasons. He could have been there trying to arrange an Untold Stories episode, whatever with the DPP and so on. But they say that the idiots I was referring to a particular person and so on. I don't know, You never know when something has any basis in fact, or whether it is just speculative and so on. All right. The person who sent the message about the 6,000 said, sorry, you are correct. It was meant to be 60,000. I so figured. To my good friend David, you sent me a voice note, but I'm seeing that it's 4 minutes, 42 seconds. I would need a kind of lengthy commercial break we don't have any more left, to listen to it, and I would not play anything, on air or risk it going out on air unless I have a chance to listen to it. So when you send me those things in the middle of hosting the program, it's kind of difficult for me to deal with it at that particular point, all right? You have to be wary that people may think something is okay. Another person post a message in the Real Issues. They say, only now, Alan, only now we're hearing about US $65,000 an acre. It is almost 8 years since Alan Shastney signed that DSH agreement. Just a few weeks after the 2016 general elections, the cries that the land was sold at $1 an acre started from that time. Not a word from you. But yesterday, like the great illusionist you are, you pulled an amount out of nowhere. That's why the Lou, which leader of the opposition, does not like to sit through an entire parliament session. He gets into trouble each time because his mouth and his one brain cell can never connect. And that's what I'm saying. If such a document exists about the land was sold $65,000 an acre and this and that was done, you probably still have access to the documents, reference and say this document is filed whatever in the land registry as so and so and so. Or this document, the contract for it should be in the files of the Ministry of Finance and so on because it was there, or whatever it was, Ministry of Public Service, wherever. You can make it a document of the House, or you can say it was already laid in the House and this thing is already public knowledge, because that ought not to be something which is hidden, which is concealed, which is kept as if, it ought not to be. That should be public knowledge. And after all that has been said, how come you did not rise to say anything about it? I was going to say about the DPP's letter last week announcing the press conference which was held today. If you can just read it, stated what the purpose of the press conference was. Let me see if I can get it to read. It says it was dated 12 June 2024. So if today is the 19th, we're talking about exactly 7 days ago that this notice was put out. Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for immediate release, and that was last week Wednesday. The Office of Director of Public Prosecutions wishes to formally invite members of the media to a press conference on Wednesday, 19th June 2024 from 10:30 a.m. at the Government Information Service studio located at Hewanora House, Point Seraphin, Castries. This press conference is being convened primarily to update the nation on the status of matters referred to the office that continue to generate great public interest and concern. These matters include the homicides of Reginald Jean, I think that's the guy they call Beige, shot and killed by the police on 28th February 2011 at Marsha. Dwight Henry, shot and killed by the police on 12th April 2011 at Marigo, quarter of Ancillary. Kevin Ferdinand, Rosarius Markey, John Baptist McFarlane, Michelle Cadet, and Alan Louisi, all shot and killed by the police on 5th May 2011 at Vieux-Fort. The DPP will also address and provide updates on the following: Shakadan Daniel, found dead while in police custody at the Miku police station on 23rd October 2013. Kimberly De Leon, shot and killed at a residence on 29th October 2018, and I think a residence, it doesn't say so, was Montfortune, of course. Arnold Joseph shot and killed by the police on 22nd May 2019. I think this young man was very young, must have been a teenager at the time, late teens and so on. And Oliver Goba, that's the guy, whose body was found, somewhere up North Cap Estate and so on in his vehicle, burned and whatever. Oliver Goba killed on 25th April 2014. The media will thereafter have the opportunity to ask questions not limited to the updates provided. It is intended for the general public through this press conference to gain greater insight into the Crown Prosecution Service, which will foster a better understanding and appreciation for the office's functions. Dazarian C.G. Green, Director of Public Prosecution. So, it stated what it was there for, to update people on certain matters. There's been and continue to be a lot of speculation regarding crimes committed in the country, especially during a certain period. Like I said, I didn't feel it necessary to go back into all of those things. What was the thing I said? I'd said something about it earlier, but we're going to look at that. Let me look at the Facebook Live, and by the way, we are still taking your calls. 724-7325. You can WhatsApp call us on this number, and also 4533-911, the landline number. Now, Loop St. Lucia News has put out an article already, and it is titled DPP advises arrest of some ORC implicated officers. 3 hours ago they posted that, and let me again give credit and attribution to Loop St. Lucia News. It says the Director of Public Prosecutions, Dazarian Green, spoke at a press conference on Wednesday, June 19th, updating the nation on the status of matters referred to his office that continue to generate great public interest and concern. On the matter of Reginald Jean, that's the guy called Bage, who was shot and killed by police on February 28, 2011 at Masha, Green said, quote, I have advised the Commissioner of Police that the further lines of inquiry embarked upon by the investigating team, which was done subsequent to the coroner's inquest in this matter, have revealed sufficient evidence, in my view, to warrant the arrest and formal interviewing of the officers involved on suspicion of reckless manslaughter. I have therefore requested the Commissioner of Police that the investigative team be directed to complete the investigation, thus allowing due process of law to function. End of quote. On the matter of Dwight Henry, who was shot and killed by police on April 12, 2011 at Marigot quarter of Ancillary, Green said, quote, having reviewed this matter in its entirety, including the further lines of inquiry explored by the investigative team, I do not find that there exists sufficient evidence to warrant the arrest of the officers involved. End of quote. On the matter of Kevin Ferdinand, Rosarius Markey, John Baptist McFarlane, Michelle Cadet, and Alan Louisi, all shot and killed by police on May 5, 2011 at Vieux-Fort, Green said, quote, further lines of inquiry have been explored. I find that this investigation is near completion, and the evidence emanating from the investigation in the further lines of inquiry as aforesaid is sufficient in my view to warrant the arrest and formal interviewing of the officers involved on suspicion of reckless manslaughter. I have advised the Commissioner accordingly. End of quote. The DPP addressed the death of Arnold Joseph, shot and killed by police on May 22, 2019. Quote, this matter has not been formally sent to my office for advice, contrary to what has been said in the media. My office remains committed to providing advice as soon as we are in receipt of it in this matter, once the request is made by the Commissioner of Police. End of quote. On Shakadan Daniel, who was found dead while in custody at the Miku police station on October 23, 2013, Green said, quote, the investigative team is also charged with the review and continued investigations into this matter. I can assure you that this matter remains active in terms of investigations, as there are outstanding lines of inquiry to be explored, which includes forensic testing in relation to exhibits recovered in this matter. These exhibits to date, from my understanding, have not been submitted for testing. Therefore, based on the evidence reviewed thus far, I find that the investigation of Shakadan Daniel is incomplete, and as such I urge the Commissioner of Police to cause these outstanding matters in the course of the investigation to be addressed. It doesn't have end of quote marks there, but I'm assuming that is the end of the quote. On Kimberly De Leon, who was shot and killed at her residence on October 29, 2018, Green said, "This matter, I can assure the public, remains an active investigation, and this investigation is being conducted by the Major Crimes Unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I am aware that there are outstanding lines of inquiry in this matter which require the assistance of external agencies. I am in receipt of a preliminary file, and I can conclude based on this preliminary file that this matter needs to be completed in terms of its investigation." End of quote. Green again urged the police commissioner to do what is necessary to ensure that these lines of inquiry are carried out so that he can be updated and subsequently be able to provide an update to the public in due course. Green spoke on Oliver Gobat, killed on April 24th, 2014, saying, "His homicide," and that's quote, "his homicide has continued to attract significant public interest. The investigation has been assigned to the investigative team, and I have been reviewing this evidence for the last 11 years. This matter has proved to be very complex in nature, and further lines of inquiry are being pursued with the assistance of external agencies. I remain confident, based on my review of this matter, that all possible lines of inquiry are being explored to bring resolution to this matter." End of quote. Green thanked the public and the families affected by these matters for their patience. So, my friend, I don't know. Lines of inquiry. I really thought the Shakadan Daniel investigation had come to a conclusion, and they had found that whichever officers were at the station that handled him, that dealt with him, that they had something to answer. I thought this one had been wrapped up. I don't know why I got that impression that the Shakadan Daniel investigation had been wrapped up. I honestly don't know. So, I mean, we have different things. Shakadan Daniel's mother called for the DPP to be investigated, and a whole lot of different things, push and pull, that seems to be going on there. Now, what am I going to do now, Jaquan? Let me look and see. The person who sent me the 4 minutes whatever thing said, "Understood, comrade brother, send for your listening pleasure. In short, I was speaking to the character Shasney and his dishonest cleverness. He would deliberately allow us to refer always to the giving away of the lands for a ridiculous $1 and have us focus on the lease arrangement, knowing that actually money was received and never mentioned until yesterday, which I suspect was done accidentally." But listen to the whole clip. I was in the shower at the time, so there's a bit of noise, but I corrected it. All right. I don't know. Maybe people should be asking Shasney, where's the money? Where's the money? Because he's claiming that $1.4 billion is missing and has not been accounted for. I tell you, if we have to depend on the leader of the opposition to really keep the public up to date, to hold the government accountable, their feet to the fire, and to shine a light where the government is trying to keep things in darkness, we're not going to get it, because this leader of the opposition is never as attentive to his role and his duties as he ought to be. Alan Shasney, too many walkouts, too many leaving the parliament to go on a talk show, too little of what you can and should be doing as former prime minister, leader of the opposition, chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. Alan Shasney, you have it within your purview, within your power, within your prerogative to pose questions to ministers, so everybody will be listening. Shasney has some questions to put to Hile. Let us hear the questions and what are the answers. Is Hile and the government, are they trying to be evasive? Are they trying to be, this kind of thing? Shastney, you have access to the director of audit and accountant general and whatever to write them and say you want this information and this files and so on. You know, I don't think they have a legal basis to refuse. But if they do, you can, now is the time you go to the public and say, I have written to director of audit or man of CIP and they refuse to give me this information. They're not giving it to me. You have the right to file injunctions and cases or whatever, you know, freedom of information, whatever, to force the release of things the government is seeking to hide. And I think you would get the public on your side if you can show that you have tried to get the information and they are blocking it, they're not letting you receive it. You will get the pub. But it's not enough for you to just come and say they're fooling you. They're hiding you. They're keeping the agreement secret. Secret. Nobody knows how the money is being spent. Mr. Shastney, what have you done to get that information? What have you done to get it? We want to see. And then we can say, okay, the government seems like they have something to hide because the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, who is the leader of the opposition, who is a former prime minister, former minister of finance, has written to ask for that information. They're not giving it to him. You know, we may not have actual freedom of information legislation, but I don't think any government can come and claim to be a democratic government, to be a transparent government, to be an open door government, and for them to be refusing information that ought to be standard public information or publicly available from you and for the public of St. Lucia to stand for it. You have to stop trying to pull the wool and the blinders over people's eyes. If you're really on the side of the people to expose those things, then you should do. We got to wrap it up now, folks. You know how the lotto comes, it always comes live. So thank you very much. Until tomorrow, God willing, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.